Hey everyone, this is Eddie. Just want to walk through how to wire up a variable frequency drive so you can run it using your own hardwired digital inputs. So we can see our frequency drive here. So to open the case, you're going to find this arrow, you're going to press on it and pull it off like so. And we can see, if we look inside, that there are a number of different input terminals, and they are all numbered. And you can see that I have wires going into 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, and then a whole mess of wires going into 11. So to understand what that is talking about, on the back of this case here, and I actually didn't know this existed, but a student found it, and it's really handy. You can also look this up online or check the Powerflex manuals, which are freely available over Google, to find the same wiring diagram. But this shows you what each of those numbered terminals is for. So we can see that number 1 is stop, 2 is start or run forward, 3 is direction select or run reversed, 4 is a digital comm, which is why there's nothing wired to it, and then 5, 6, 7, and 8 are digital inputs, and I've only used 5 and 6. On the bottom, we can see that 11 is going to be plus 24 volts, so that's where we're getting power from. 12 is 10 volts. 13 would be if I wanted a 0 to 10 volt analog input. 14 is a common, so again, skip it. 15 is a 4 to 20 milliamp input. And 16 is an analog output, and 17, 18, and 19 are, or 17 and 18 are optical outputs, and 19 is a common for an optical. So looking at this, that's more or less what we want to wire our terminals to behave like. The goal of the project for this course is we want to have a start and a stop button. We want to choose the direction of the motor. So start and stop are going to be 1 and 2. Motor direction is 3. And then we want to set the frequency with some switches, which are going to be wired to 5 and 6. So if we follow the wires to the other side of this, we can see we have buttons up here. And I've wired up button 1 is my start button. This is my stop button. And then I've done 3 switches. So switch 1 controls the direction. 2 is for a low speed, and 3 sets it as a high speed. If I go to the back, we can see these are what these switches and buttons look like. So when I'm working on, let's say, a switch 1, I'm going to have a sort of a larger screwdriver that I'm going to use to loosen this up. And if we look inside, we can see that we're basically trapping the wire between 2 plates, and we want it to have a firm connection so it doesn't pull free. If we follow this top wire for this input, just following it back, you can see that it leads to terminal 6. So that is one of the switches that sets the frequency. The way I've done it is the top wire, you can see each input, each switch and button has 2 wires, a top and a bottom, that get connected when the switch is closed. So I did all the top wires going to the terminal block, which is what we see in here. This terminal 11 is the power. We have a syncing power supply, which means that the VFD is providing the power to the buttons. We don't need to have an external power that brings it to the VFD. In order for those buttons to have power, they need to get it from somewhere, and we know from the little diagram that that's going to be terminal 11. Over in the cabinet here, we have tiny screwdrivers. You don't want to use these tiny screwdrivers on the larger screws for the switches and buttons because it's a little too small and can strip them, but you do want to use it for the terminal block. So we can see if I loosen up 11, I can pull that out, and I basically have all these wires twisted together because they need, and it's kind of like a wire nut situation where they all need to have power. So this is the other side of all these different buttons. So all these bottom wires, like this one and this one and this one, are all leading to terminal 11. And that's really all that we need to do in order to wire up this terminal. So we're going to use the small screwdriver to deal with these tiny terminal screws and tuck the wire in. And again, we want to make sure it's a firm connection. It doesn't just pull free. For terminal 11, the power, we kind of want to braid them together so we can easily get it in there. And then when we're done, we're just going to slide the case back on like so. And now we are ready to program the different buttons and switches.